What's up guys, Ruppy here, welcoming you back to more action for the Breedjax Battle Royale. Last week, my Columbus Swoo kept our Cinderella run alive. Don't even ask me how this is even happening at this point. I have lost all semblance of how on earth this is even possible at this point. I'm just kind of going with it. But we managed to knock off the #1 team in the New Britain Rock Ruff and Diet Tight last week, which I feel bad for Dai considering how much he ran through the entire season, but the Cinderella story's got to do what the Cinderella story has to do, right? Anyway, we have advanced to the semifinals, where my Columbus Swoo are in familiar territory now, as we are going to be playing the San Diego Snugglers, coached by Grandmaster D.Rey. His roster will be appearing off to the right. I'll be getting to that momentarily. In the upper corner of the video, you should be seeing a little card that should take you back to when we last crossed paths. D.Rey beat me in the regular season 1-0 in a battle that actually lasted for almost an hour. I still have no idea how on earth that actually happened, that we dragged the Wi-Fi chess timer out that long. No offense, D.Rey, but I'm hoping we don't do that again, because, yeah, as fun as that was, I think we both kind of want to just get this battle out of the way and then get some rest for the night. But we did lose last time. Here's to hoping that we can somehow learn from those mistakes and turn things around. My roster has not changed since the last time we played. D.Rey's roster is mostly the same, so I'm not really going to go too in-depth on it. He did make a couple changes, however. Last time we played, he had Klefki, Mimikyu, and Skuntank. Klefki and Mimikyu both came to that game. I believe that was actually the last week he actually had both of them on his roster before he dropped them. Now, in their place, he has Grimmsnarl, Durant, and Qwilfish. All three are actually really solid additions that kind of actually make this match a tiny bit more problematic for me. Grimmsnarl can be his screen setter, so he doesn't have to rely on Rotomo to pull that stunt like he did last time. Qwilfish can be a bit of a pain because now he can try to pull T-Spikes on me and keep my Tentacruel from being able to pull that stunt. Durant is a colossal problem. Dracovish is not my only concern this time around. Durant is actually a really solid answer to pretty much most of my team, and it's a definite wall to Rillaboom. Perhaps just as good as Arcanine is, which is definitely going to cause some problems in this game. So, that's something I'm going to have to work around, which is going to be a problem for sure. But, here's to hoping we can somehow find a way to get around this. So, let's get into my team for this battle. Starting off with Dragonzord, my T-Tar. My front office and I really went back and forth on what exactly we should do with T-Tar this game, because T-Tar feels a little more valuable in this game than it did the last time around. And ultimately, after tossing a couple sets back and forth, we ultimately decided to go with a special T-Tar. I have the Choppleberry, not so much for the likes of Hitmontop, because obviously with Stab, that thing is still going to destroy me. But for anything like, say, Arcanine, who would not get Stab off of it, I can potentially eat a hit and then proceed to take a huge chunk out of the thing or maybe kill it. And if something like Arcanine's out of the way, that makes Rillaboom's job significantly easier. And under the right conditions, Dragonzord could actually pose a significant problem to him. Rock Polish is there because with this speed investment at +2, Dragonzord will guarantee outspeed a Jolly Scarf Dracovish, even if it's max speed. Dark Pulse is stab. Ice Beam is fairly good coverage for some of the things I would need it for. Protect is primarily in the event of First Impression Durant. So I can block that, be able to outspeed if I've got the Rock Polish up, and then proceed to start taking chunks out of the thing because Durant is a lot weaker on the special side than it is physically, for sure. Basically, I'm going to need to wear a lot of stuff down, but under the right conditions, if I can get a Rock Polish up, T-Tar should be able to put in some solid work for me. Rillaboom is one of the things I'm definitely going to be hoping is going to be the star of the show here. Basically, almost the same set I brought last time, with 2 changes. I'm running Knockoff over Darkest Lariat because last time I ran Darkest Lariat for an Orbeetle set that did not come, And my front office and I have since realized that I actually have more answers to be able to deal with such an Orbeetle set if D-Rey decides to pull it on me this time. So, knockoff gives me much better utility, especially since with boots, Arcanine proved to be such a colossal problem last time. So, the more I can abuse knockoff for utility to be able to potentially make things more rocks weak, the better I think this is going to go for me. I also switched out the choice band for a life orb this time. It is going to suck having a little less power, but honestly, I think the freedom to switch moves is so much more beneficial to me in this battle that Rillaboom is going to be able to put in so much more work because of it. Next up is Empathy, my Hatterene. This thing saved the day last week, completely turned the tide on Die, and it's basically a significant threat to D-Rey's team as well, if I play my cards right. The exact same set I brought last time, except instead of a Queso Berry, which I brought for the Mimikyu last time, this time I'm just running leftovers because it worked last week. Give Hatterene a little bit of HP back. Idea is basically the same as it always is with this hat set. Set up Trick Room and then go to town. Because, like with Die last week, it does so much to D-Rey's roster that all I really need to do is get the Trick Room up, and the rest is pretty much writes itself. This Tentacruel set I'm bringing at the Ruin. Same spread as last time because it worked last time because that EV spread allows me to be able to outrun a non-Scarf, Dracovish. But I don't have Deagling this time. I'm instead running a Toxic Stalling set. I feel disgusted that I'm pulling this, but I can't deny that it actually kind of works with the current roster that D-Rey possesses. Hide behind a sub, Protect to be able to stall a bit, Toxic to wear things down, Scald so I'm not completely passive. This Tentacruel set speaks for itself. I hate that I'm using it, but I will keep the Cinderella run alive by any means necessary at this point, whatever it takes. Druddigon, Cadwell Ladder's coming back. Same concept as last time. Rocky Helmet and Rough Skin to try to take a huge chunk out of the likes of Dracovish for sure. Definitely Durant as well this time around. I've got Rocks, I've got D-Claw. I'm running Toxic this time so that alongside Tentacruel I can try to spread Toxic throughout his team. So I can chip things down and be able to handle them easier. And I also have Gunk Shot this time. Earthquake proved to be a bit of an issue last time because I was still kind of in the phase of getting used to running Grassy Surge every week with Rillaboom. But I don't really have as much need for it this time around, I feel. So I feel safe enough putting Gunk Shot on there for the likes of Grimmsnarl to be able to chip away at that thing. And definitely to answer Rotom-Mow as well if it surfaces again. And last but not least is Entrapta. Same exact set as last time. Although I did switch out Magnet Pull for Analytic because honestly, Magnet Pull is not the best. It was good with Klefki. Durant, whole different story, however. So I don't want to be trapping that thing in there with me since since Hidden Power Fire is no longer a thing. So I feel much safer just using Analytic because it allows me the power boost if I'm outsped. So if I have to sacrifice my sub, I can to be able to get a little more damage off on things. Iron Defense for the defense boost, Body Press and Flash Cannon for damage purposes. All in all, I think this team has a chance to work. There were a couple of other options that we were considering, but I'm confident in what I've got, and I think we'll be able to weather whatever storm D-Rey wants to throw at us, and be able to work from there. So, I will see you guys when it's battle time. Alright, it is semi-final time. And somehow D-Rey and I have ended up playing late at night yet again. Our schedules need to line up better than they have. Seriously. But we're going to get into this. Hopefully this game will not take as long as the last one we played did. Fingers crossed on that. And let's see if our Swoo Cinderella run can keep going just a little bit longer, shall we? Alrighty, so Dracovish, Arcanine, Durant, Sandaconda, Grimmsnarl, and Orbeetle. So, only 2 things from the last time we crossed paths. Dracovish and Arcanine, neither of which surprises me. Durant is of absolutely no surprise. Grimmsnarl was kind of not a surprise. Little stunned he brought the Orbeetle this time, but I think I have a few other answers to get around it. Sandacon's a bit of a surprise as well. I'm a little surprised not to see Quillfish. Rotom-Mow, I guess. Well, he used it kind of well last time, but Grimmsnarl kind of fills that role this time. Last time he led the Rotom-Mow, too, and I led Neopert. So I think this time, I'm gonna lead Cadwallader. Because I want to try and see if I can get my rocks up as quick as possible this time, since that's the only hazard I brought. And with any luck, I can kind of see how he wants to play this and go from there. He does have webs with Orbeetle, which is actually kind of bad, now that I think about it. Though, to be fair, if he realizes what I can do with Hat, maybe this won't be as much of an issue. Because, of course, he's just fueling Trick Room for me in that case. Good luck, have fun, D.Rey. And can we please not go for an hour this time? I have to get up for work in the morning. Alright, so I'm leading Drud. He is leading with the Durant. So, he's kind of wasting no time here. On the plus side, he really can't, I mean, he does take quite a bit of chip if he hits me with anything. I can't really touch this thing in return. But that's fine. I'm just going to go ahead and get my rocks up just so they are out of the way. He didn't bring anything to really get rid of them this time, so... He gets Durant right on out of there and goes straight into Grimmsnarl, which is perfectly fine with me, honestly. Because I'm going to be able to get my rocks up, and we are good to go from here. So not a bad start, in my honest opinion. I can take a Play Rough, even if he's Adamant Max Attack. And even if he gets a Reflect Up, I can still take a good chunk out of this thing with Gunk Shot. That said, however... Actually, no, I'm going to go ahead and Gunk Shot this thing. Why not? I want to see exactly how he wants to play this. He is going to go Reflect, which is of no surprise to me, realistically. I would not be surprised if he's got Light Screen. I'm going to hit this Gunk Shot, which is still going to take a chunk out of the Grimmsnarl here. Not bad. And that said... I'm curious if he actually has T-Wave on this thing or not. I'm just going to go ahead and stay with Cadwallader and Toxic, just to see how he wants to play this. He's got Dazzling Gleam! Okay! Not quite what I was expecting there. So he is a more specially offensive, Alright. That is quite interesting, not gonna lie. Kind of ruined some of my plans with Cadwallader, but to be fair, I have my rocks up, so I'm not that concerned with it. I'm gonna go into Entrapta now. Because Entrapta can certainly take this thing on. He's going to switch as well. Into Durant. Alrighty. So this thing is going to take rocks damage, which is nice. He is behind the Reflect as well, which is a bit of a problem. To be perfectly honest, I think I'm just going to go back into Cadwallader. Because if nothing else, I can get Rough Skin and Rocky Helmet chip on it. I know that was ideally for Dracovish, but I think I can handle Dracovish if I play my cards right. As he's going to go Stomping Tantrum. Which is going to kill... He still takes the chip! Stomping Tantrum still... Okay, that is actually really good to know! That Stomping Tantrum proceeds to, So, good to know he has Stomping Tantrum, and he's Life Orb. So, this Durant actually just ate a huge amount of chip damage. Which I am all for, honestly. So, in that regard... In that regard... Ooh, this is actually a tough play, honestly. How I want to go about this. I think I'm going to go into the Ruin. I kind of hate this idea because a Life Orb Stomping Tantrum is going to do so much, and Tentacruel is actually kind of viable this game. But... I can take a Stomping Tantrum. And I can pick this thing off with a Scald, so I'm willing to take the risk. He's gonna miss the Stomping Tantrum. Oof. I'm sorry about that one, D.Rey. That is, unfortunately, the risk of running Hustle. I still feel bad about it, because that would have done a ton of damage. I'm not even going to pretend that it wouldn't. Plus side, though, Durant is off the table. And Durant was a colossal problem for my team, especially in dealing with Rillaboom. Rillaboom actually has a much better opening now. So in's going to come the Orbeal and find my Black Sludge, which is perfectly fine. I have a feeling... I'm going to set up a substitute. Because I have a feeling he's going to try and set up on me in some capacity. He goes Psyshock. Which I take maybe a tiny bit better than a Psychic. Nice to see he went straight for the attack there. So... I'm going to go ahead and Toxic this thing to wear it down, just in case he does have some form of setup on this thing. He's just content with going straight Psyshock, which is perfectly fine with me. I can take Bug Buzzes even through a sub without a problem. Because of Tentacruel's natural special bulk. I'm going to go ahead and Toxic this thing, put it on a timer. Go ahead and chip away at the bug a bit. And I guess now I will show Protect, my disgusting Tentacruel tactic. Just to get a little more Toxic Chip on this thing, wear it down a little more. I did notice how... There's the Calm Mind. Somehow that doesn't surprise me. I did notice he didn't take Rocks damage, so he's definitely Boots on this thing. So that's a little more Toxic Chip. His Reflect is finally gone. That took a while to go away. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and go into Entrapta now. Because I see no reason not to. As he goes ahead and Psyshocks, which Magnezone I know is going to be able to take. I'm going to be able to get HP back. As the Toxic's going to keep racking up on this Orbeetle, which is certainly appreciated. I'm gonna go ahead and sub with Entrapta, because I think I can take a body press from him. Even if he's... No, he's gonna switch out. Into... the Sandaconda, which is perfectly fine with me, honestly. This thing's gonna take rocks damage. I'm gonna get Entrapta behind a sub. And we are good to go from here. And this thing has leftovers. Good to note. So I'm half expecting a high horsepower. I could Iron Defense up, but honestly I feel more comfortable just popping this thing with a flash cannon. He's got Earth Power! What is... Okay, I'm kind of curious now. I mean, I can understand him kind of maybe expecting Entrapta to be the exact same as it was before, as wow, I popped that thing pretty badly with Flash Cannon. So, that said, I think now is as good a time as any to go into Neopert. Because I should be able to take anything the Sandaconda wants to throw my way. Get my grassy terrain up, and let's see what the snake wants to do now. It is going to just Earth Power again, which is perfectly fine. I eat that up. There is absolutely no way this thing is staying in because a Grassy Glide absolutely decimates this thing. And if I were to hazard a guess, I'm very positive that Arcanine is coming in right now. So I'm going to knock off in preparation because this is the problem I ran into the last time I played this game. Arcanine caused me so many problems because of boots and being able to switch in and out at will. And I'm not going to give it that luxury this time. Yep, he's got boots again, but not for much longer, so that is certainly a good thing. I'm able to take this thing's boots away. I take Life Orb damage, which is fine. And on that note, I think I'm going to go back into the Ruin, actually. Because the Ruin should be able to take care of this thing. I should be able to take a hit from it without too much issue. He's got Wild Charge! Okay! Good on him for calling that switch! And I want to say this maybe isn't as bulky as the last one was in that case. Which has me quite curious now. On that note, however, I'm going to send out my Dragon Zord. Because I think I can take this thing down a couple pegs. I'm going to be able to set Sand up, which is going to help chip away at this thing. And... you know what? Do I dare? I think I'm just going to go for the Dark Pulse and see what he wants to do. I wouldn't be surprised if he pulls Close Combat on me. Nope, he's just going to straight withdraw into Grimmsnarl. So, probably for the best, actually. Little bit of chip, which is fine. He's going to take Sandstorm damage and Toxic damage. Didn't get to spread as much Toxic as I would have liked, which is a bit of a problem. But... okay, I know this thing has Dazzling Gleam, which I can certainly take, actually. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and fire off an Ice Beam on this thing. See what he wants to do. Because I think he would much rather set up a screen right now more than anything else. Yep, he's going to set up Light Screen. I figured as much. So, this Ice Beam's still going to be able to pop this thing for some damage. Ship it down to the red, where Sandstorm and the Toxic is going to go from there. Well, there's also the terrain factored in. I almost forgot about that. But that is fine. There goes the grassy terrain. I would not be surprised to see him Dazzling Gleam now, and on that note, I'm actually going to reveal Protect. Because the Sand plus the Toxic will proceed to wear this thing down then. Nope, he's just going to go ahead and set up a Reflect. So he's got both screens up now. Which is fine. Grimmsnarl is going to go down. And I kind of don't mind that, because once I burn the screens, granted, I am aware I have quite a few turns I need to work through, but I think it'll be fine. I still have my rocks. I still have sand. So it's not as big of a deal as it could be. I would not, however, be surprised to see Dracovish right now. Since he does have both screens up, and my T-Tar is sitting here without my rock polish. Though, to be fair, I don't know how much that would have ultimately mattered in the long run. Anyway, at this point, considering my Toxic Mons are off the table. Yep. Hello, Dracovish. So nice to see you. I would not be surprised if you are Scarfed, or if you're Banded. If that's the case, now if I send in Rillaboom, I actually lose it. Eef, that's a problem. Honestly, at this point, I think I'm willing to let Entrapta go. I would much rather lose Entrapta than Dragon's Door, because I think Dragon's Door still has some value to me in this game. As he is just going to go ahead and go for the Vicious Rend, which is going to kill and not kill Entrapta! Excuse me? Hang on a sec. Are you a Scarf Dracovish? I mean, I'm just gonna click Body Press at this point and still let Entrapta go, because that's another turn of screens burned and another turn of sand damage. Well, maybe not. I didn't check to see how many sand turns I've got, but... Yep, there goes my sand. But if you're Scarfed... That's a bit of a game changer, actually. Because that is a free switch in a Neopert. To kind of threaten you. I mean, he still wouldn't be able to outpace me because of Grassy Glide. Honestly, I'm willing to high horsepower here, expecting Arcanine to come in. Because I want to think he gets this thing out of here, because if he is Scarfed, he's locked into Vicious Rend. And even though I'm not doing as much damage because he has his screens, Grassy Glide's priority takes away the extra power he'll get from Vicious... No, he stays in and just goes for the Vicious Rend. Okay, a little surprised by that, not gonna lie. And that's a bit of a problem now, actually. That he actually did that. Oof. Okay, now we've got a bit of a problem here. I'm gonna go ahead and Grassy Glide now, though. He definitely out-mind gamed me there. I still take a chunk out of this thing, but I do lose Rillaboom here, unfortunately. And unfortunately, I think this is where I lose. I'm gonna go into empathy. But I'm pretty sure even with this spread, I don't take a Vicious Rend unless he's not max attack. I'm going to make the attempt to get a Trick Room up, but I'm pretty sure this is ball game, unfortunately. He got me better. He got me better with Fish this time than he did last time. I will give him that. There's the Vicious Rend. And there's a Dead Hat. So that is going to be the end of that, unfortunately. GG, D.Rey. The Cinderella run is over, unfortunately. I really wish it didn't have to come to an end, but these things happen. And on the bright side, at least this game didn't go an hour like it did the last time. I'm going to click Rock Polish just on the off chance I can somehow live this Vicious Rend, though I'm pretty sure it's not happening. I should have probably got my Rock Polish up much earlier. Yep, that's the end of that. GG, D.Rey. It was a good run, guys. The fact that I even made it this far is honestly mind-blowing to me in and of itself. So I take no shame in this loss. I probably should not have even been this far to begin with. But we did the best we could. So, that said, thank you guys so very much for watching. I have been Ruppy, and I will see you guys at some point in the future. Take care, guys.